On our journeys of creating more influence and impact, we're always looking to up-level ourselves. And this show is not only supporting you on the business side of growth in your multi-6 and 7-figure business, but also the personal and the inner growth as well. And what I found in working with hundreds of people throughout the years is that sometimes you want to go to a healer or an intuitive or a coach that can help you work and coach you through certain obstacles that are coming up in your life. And then sometimes you want to actually get certified and learn a new modality that you can use to help others inside of your own business. And so today's guest expert on More Influence and Impact is someone who actually does both and both trains practitioners in her modality and works with individual clients. And so I'm going to bring Gina up. Hello, Gina.
Hello, Celia Faye.
Thank you for being here today. And so I'm just going to do a quick introduction. Gina Vance is an experienced inner journey guide and creator of Somatic Mindful Guided Imagery. She has over 2 decades of experience helping others to heal. And with her simple yet profound SMGI process, she helps individuals to access inner support, clear obstacles, and reconnect with their true essence. So that sounds delightful, Gina.
Yeah, it is delightful. It's really rich work.
Yes, yes. And so high level, can you just tell us like what you do in your company and who you support and how you work with people?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do a few things. I work with clients privately to help them create what they desire, whether it's multiple figures of income, richer relationships, whatever it is that they desire. And I train people how to do the protocol that I developed over the years. And in the background, I'm writing a book on the 9 survival responses that become trauma-related reactions. So that keeps me pretty busy.
Yes. Wow. Wow. And so when is your book scheduled to come out?
Well, we are behind, as that often happens, but I'm hoping that by this time next year it's out.
Okay, beautiful. Yep, it's a process, right? It's a labor of love and bringing through all of the pieces, and you want it to be a beautiful representation of your work, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. So, can you share about your personal journey of healing and like how you, what inspired you in your journey to developing and founding your methodology?
Mm. What inspired me was excruciating physical pain, and everything I tried didn't help or made it worse. And it was so bad that I just really did not want to be here in this life anymore. But I had an infant daughter that I wasn't willing to abandon. So I had to find a way. So just put my head down. And when my pain got greater than my fear, I would try the next, what I thought of as weirdo. And so the psychics, the healers, the shamans, I worked with all kinds of healers and integrative medical doctors. And it took me 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of that 5 years, I had made a lot of progress. And I knew that I needed to share what I knew with
Mm-hmm.
others. And even though I felt a little awkward moving into that realm from my engineering career, my soul, it was part of that blueprint that was in me that I wasn't real clear about yet, drove me. And so I started working with clients and they helped me refine it further. And within a couple of years, this protocol that I'm now teaching was pretty much set. And so I just have done it over and over and over the last over 20 years. And for me, it was really important to do it in a way that it wasn't my specialness that made it work,
Mm-hmm.
but it was repeatable.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that many are out doing the work, many practitioners that have been trained are out doing the work, it's phenomenal. And it reminds me of when I was teaching college students. When I was a lighting engineer, I was teaching college students how to do lighting design. And I was amazed at their talent. It was exponentially greater than my talent. It was just phenomenal. And this is the delight that I'm having as my certified practitioners are going out in the world and working with others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting to see their talents and their uniqueness and like how they bring what they bring to the work. And I'm sure
And that their clients get.
Oh.
It's really miracle work. Once a few years ago, I was giving a talk to psychotherapists. A psychotherapist invited me. She wanted me to talk about the work. I did. I was so exuberant and just giving examples of what people experienced. And the reviews came back. They were all rave reviews except for that one person.
Mm-hmm.
She makes herself out to be a miracle worker.
Mm-hmm.
And it really stung at
Mm-hmm.
first, but then I realized that's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't create the miracles, but I support my clients in creating what seem like miracles to us, because
Mm-hmm.
whatever they ask for, they get. And
Mm-hmm.
things that I never even believed that they could get. But they showed me that it's all possible. And so I've come to believe it's all healable. Whatever you desire to create, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a few tricks to know. And it's very simple, actually. Part of my path, my purpose, my mission in this life is to simplify the complex, make it usable,
Mm-hmm.
doable, and practical ways for the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really all of the information can be boiled down to just three things: connect to inner strengths, inner resources, support, love, guidance, whatever it is you need. It's right there inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Clear away that subconscious clutter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whether it's energies, emotions, beliefs, perceptions, understandings, agreements that we've made, those can be easily cleared away. And to reconnect to parts of your essential nature.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that game called Jenga?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great analogy for what happens with us. How you pull out a block and then it becomes less stable.
Mm-hmm.
So we have these parts of our essential nature that for whatever reason we got separated from. Some, ran away when things were overwhelming. Some we hid so that we could keep going. Some we just disconnected from because we were told they were bad. But it makes us less stable and less powerful and effective. So as we reconnect to those parts and bring them back, we become more whole. We become more of who and what we are. And so we have less stress, consequently, and we have more life force vitality and more connection to inspiration. So everything that we touch, whatever it is, mundane, banal, or hugely fantastical for audiences of millions, it's all the same in that sense. So there's a lot of talk about authenticity nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the way to connect to what is authentically you and yours, that's in you. It came in with you. But really the only way to access it is where it lives deep inside you.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And so many people, look kind of outwardly, right? They're looking for this and that, these outward tactics. And really it's like accessing what is inside of you is like ultimate. It's the ultimate. And so that's what your work does, is kind of help people. Would you say like kind of bring them home to themselves almost?
Absolutely. You come home to yourself, and from that place, you create what is magically inspiring for you and very fulfilling and rewarding, whatever that looks like, however many figures. And then others in your sphere of influence are blessed just by you being your essential self.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be a healer per se, or a coach or a helping professional. You can just be connected to your essential self, embodying that and expressing that in the world, and you're changing the world for the better.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So what does work, what does the work look like if somebody is going to come and work with a practitioner of your modality? Is it like they come and meet one time? Do they do intensives, or does everybody kind of customize their journeys? What does that look like?
Yeah, and some do intensive. Some of us will do intensives. If someone's flying in from far away, we might do stacked up over a weekend. But there is a certain pattern that was shown to me over the years. And so we recommend that people experience a minimum of 3 sessions, because it takes most people 3 to get through all the steps one time.
Mm-hmm.
However, people are always welcome to have a single session to see how it feels for them, how aligned it feels for them, after which everybody always knows if and how they want to continue. But I'll tell you, most people work with us in sets of 6 sessions at a time, meeting once a week or every other week. The sessions last 2 hours. And then some people will do multiple 3-packs or multiple 6-packs. It just really depends on the individual, what their project is. And everyone knows what's the right amount for them.
Okay. So they kind of just intuitively know as they work with their practitioner.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about somebody who's looking like, for a new certification, a new modality? Obviously, this isn't just one more thing to add to your resume, but where might someone be in their journey where this might be a fit for them to come and explore, like being a practitioner of this?
Yeah. With all the work about client avatars and niches and all that, SMGI is unique in these times because so many people that we wouldn't think of being aligned with this kind of work are suddenly drawn to it because there's some shift that they're making, along with the great shift that's happening in our consciousness. So really, it's people who are similar to your people. They're heart-based. Their greatest, highest value is love. And they really are here to make a difference in this world, to make a positive difference in this world and help this world move into the new love-based consciousness. And so they might be coming from tech or something that is totally unrelated to healing, coaching, or some kind of therapeutic modality. And yet their soul is nudging them towards it. So as you go through the training, many people will go on to incorporate it into their professional work. They've already got something going. They will start fresh as a new entrepreneur. And some people won't become a practitioner, but of this work necessarily, but everything they do will change because of their experiences in the course. Because of how we go through all of the steps, and each person experiences it multiple times as they're doing trades. They're experiencing being guided by their classmates. They're guiding their classmates. And some of the components in it are the best coaching ever. So if someone is any kind of coach or works with others to inspire them to be their best, there are certain tricks that are included in helping to speak using the language of the subconscious that can really draw that essence out of a person, that power of their unique desire.
Beautiful. So would you say that if someone, let's say that they're in marketing or they're in sales or even in coaching, and maybe they keep seeing that there's like this threshold of how far they can take their clients, and that maybe their clients, they just keep running into these obstacles or upper limits or whatever. And so they're starting to see a pattern of like, maybe I want to add something to my toolkit, because a lot of times change makers, it's like they want to really help facilitate that change. They don't want to necessarily be, referring them out to all these other people. Is that something that you see with people that come in to get certified with you?
Yeah, those are the people I'm here for. I'm here for transformers of culture. That's who I'm here to support. So in whatever capacity, I'm here to support you in supporting your people. And so there are some very simple things to know that make a huge difference in how far we're able to get. And sometimes it's when you're running up against those barriers or those limits, there's a shift in you that can happen that will be automatically transmuted to your clients. And then all of a sudden they'll just be able to do more than they could before. And sometimes it's more pointed on helping the client to move beyond a barrier that they have put in place. But there's a mirroring that happens. And of course, our clients are here to help us in whatever our soul's goals are, to expand, to stretch, to experience more and less limits, more freedom, more creativity, more power. So we don't always, and thankfully we don't have to diagnose, here's where it's coming from, here's what it needs to happen. As we use these tools, it presents itself. We just connect to it. It becomes apparent in our awareness.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. Because, like, talking about doing work with the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind, it's like those unconscious beliefs and, they play out in our lives, right?
Yeah.
So I can see that when that shift happens for the practitioner, that all of a sudden, like, they're not creating that because they're not being that way. They're not showing up that way anymore. And so they're not bringing that out of their clients either.
Yeah, and one of the things that you experience with SMGI is recognizing that, oh, I wasn't failing. That was an experience that I wanted to have of that certain kind of limitation.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to graduate from that. And then when you do, you can really appreciate that you had that experience of that limitation, because it really adds power to your work with others that are experiencing similar limitations.
Wow, wow. Yeah, and then now you can see, okay, like I can address this, or you start to see the patterns essentially. Is that what you're saying?
You see the patterns, and also you have so much compassion for yourself and your history, and you don't perceive it as failure anymore.
Okay.
Right? It's just, it was all experience that not only did you get really to know the truth of what that was like, but it now empowers your work in the world because you're initiated in those ways with those limitations through those difficulties. And
Wow.
you've moved through them and beyond them. And so now you know for sure that your clients can.
Yeah.
You're not just talking about a theory. Well, you can. It's like, no, I know you can. If I could, why couldn't you?
Yeah. So there's that embodiment factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so what does it look like if somebody comes and gets certified with you? Like, what does that look like in terms of time frame, commitment, time commitment, etc.?
Yeah. Every March, I do a 6-month intensive training. And so the time commitment is this year in California, it's Saturdays. That's Sundays in Australia for our Australian contingent. But Saturdays at 11:30 this year for a couple of hours. We meet for 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and a half. Once a week. And then between our live meetings, they have video lectures to watch and a few little fun homework things to do. And about a quarter of the way through, then they start doing trades with their fellow classmates. So by the time that 6 months is up, they have a lot of experience, direct experience of the work from both sides of the table, so to speak. And if they want to facilitate others in any capacity, then they have all they need to do that.
Wow. And I'm sure there's a beautiful community that's formed with everybody that's going through the process together as well, the bonds and the friendships that are made.
Yeah, and it's a unique experience because even though we are working with trauma, it's a very coherent, peaceful, kind environment that I specifically create. In my training, there was a lot of "wah" that we just don't need.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also an experience to feel safe in community and sharing authentically.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's those spaces are needed, and especially as individuals are getting regulated with their nervous systems, you want to have those safe spaces to share with people, and then bring that into your world. So those communities are really powerful, and so that's always like one of those added benefits of doing like a group cohort type setting,
Mhm.
especially when there's like an intense healing that's being done as well.
Mhm. Yeah. So you want to play a little bit?
Sure.
So, Celia, what did you want to be when you were a little girl?
Oh,
Mhm.
I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be like Tina Turner, and she was like my idol. Tina Turner, Madonna were my
Mhm.
idols when I was a kid.
Yeah, beautiful. And did you have a favorite fairy tale story or movie?
I remember I'm trying to remember there I know that there was the song about Thumbelina that I used to love when I was little.
Mhm.
She goes to
Mhm.
a magical fairyland, Tiny
Mhm.
Thumbelina.
Mhm. Mhm. Great. And did you have any heroes or anyone that you really especially admired?
Oh, my big sister was
Mhm,
definitely my hero.
mhm. And what was it about your big sister?
She took care of me, like, she looked out for me, and she was strong, and she was compassionate, and she really got me, like, she loved me and cared for me. She's, like, 8.5 years older, so
Mhm,
she was like a second mom, but yeah, all of those things.
mhm. And if you imagine back to that little girl that you were wanting to be, that rock star, Madonna, Tina Turner,
Mhm.
what was it that you imagined about them and their lives that so excited you?
It was about the freedom of expression, like their music really inspired me, and they seemed so free and expressive when they
Mm,
were when they were performing. And yeah.
mhm, mhm. And Thumbelina, what is your sense about what you most connected to with the Thumbelina song?
Yeah, I I think it was just like about being held and loved and cared for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, that really resonated. There was something about that was just, it had like this essence of like really deep love and connection.
Wow, wow. Do you feel that in your heart?
Yes.
I feel it over here. So, I wanna read this back to you, and as I do, just see what resonates because this gives us a window into your essence, your
Mhm.
essential nature,
Mhm.
and your destiny, what you are here to embody and express.
Mhm.
So, you, Celia Faye, you are here to be like a big sister to people, to help them feel looked out for with your strength and compassion, to help people feel cared for, and to experience freedom of expression, and to experience being held, loved, and cared for, and to help others have that experience of being held, loved, and cared for, really loved and connected.
Mhm.
So, does that resonate for you?
100%. Yes.
And so that and it's like crackling energy. It's like, "Oh, she just showed us her big, beautiful self."
Yes.
And knowing this can really help us, professionally,
Mhm.
right? So when we know this is who I am, this is why I'm here, then everything else we do is relative to that. So if someone wants to make 9 figures, it's relative to who they are and what they came in with, that when they were a little kid, they recognized aspects of it around them being reflected back. Oh, yes, that. Oh, yes, that. Oh, yes, that.
Mhm.
So those are some of the fun things that we do in SMGI. And if you work with any of the practitioners, this is always a part of the initial interview
Okay.
because in that initial interview, it's like, the first half of it is a kick-ass coaching session where it's the kind of coaching, not consulting,
Mhm.
but coaching where you're helping to draw that deep truth out of the client.
Mhm.
And so this is a piece of that.
Well, beautiful. Thank you so much for playing with me and for our listeners and viewers to get to have that experiential moment of, okay, this is what it's like. And these are the things that we dive into, when doing the work together. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. It's so much fun. These journeys that people experience when they're having sessions are so rich. They're better than any Netflix movie you can find because you are the star, you're the director, you're the producer, you are in it, but in a way that you know that you are safe and that you can get safe no matter what happens. So it's so much richer than things that we know. I believe that. I value that. I desire that. I want to create that. But when we experience it in our body, in our heart brain, in our belly brain, the poignant truths that we connect to, then it makes all that other good stuff that we believe in and that we want to do doable.
Mhm.
there's nothing more powerful than our subconscious, and we can override it. We can override it. We can trick it. But it will always find a way to show you the truth of what you're carrying around inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fail, it's a call inward saying, oh, it's not working the way you want it because there's something inside of you that wants your attention.
Mm-hmm.
There's some clutter to clear, a part to rescue and bring back, or an archetype of power that you're now ready to take in your body.
Yes.
Right? Maybe when your inner warrior is what you need, but when you were growing up, that was no, 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 no. Stop that. Be nice, be kind. Right? Or your inner priestess or goddess or jokester, whatever it is that is this part of you that maybe was set aside or maybe latent, hadn't been awakened yet, but now's the time. These are parts of what we experience when we do these inner journeys.
Mm-hmm. And, and for our audience here, especially, it's that journey of entrepreneurship that everybody's on is a part of that soul awakening and that reconnection. And so when you were sharing, there was this quote from Myron Golden that he says, the work always works. Even when it's not working, it's working on you. So like, let's say if you're using a new marketing strategy or new sales thing, and it's like you're doing it, and it's like when things don't work, that's actually when the true work happens, because it causes us to go inward and reflect. For those of us that are on that journey in particular, I think the ones that are just, not taking ownership and everything's external and not responsibility, that's a whole other conversation. But for those who are like, inward reflect, and like I like to call the heart-centered high performers, it's like, okay, like I tried this, and what's going on? And is there a pattern? Is there something showing up for me to heal and address? So,
and that's something you and I have in common, is those heart-centered high performers.
yeah,
Because, everyone that comes to me to work with me personally, they have achieved so much already. They've survived so much already. They've achieved so much already, whether it's personally or professionally or both. And now it's like they're ready for more. And yet part of their path to expand into more is to collaborate in partnership, so that they can access those things and spread their wings even farther. Those are my favorite people to work with. And those are the people that tend to work with me the longest term, because they have these projects that they're growing, and new projects that they're growing, and people that are involved in their projects. And so it's really, entrepreneurship is a call to high adventure, because there's so much risk, right? Yeah, but it is a spiritual path, no matter how you slice it.
Yes. Yes. And that's really, what you put about partnerships and collaborations, or what you said, because that's the thing is, as we grow, it doesn't necessarily mean like big payrolls and a lot of staff, but it can still mean like a few more team members, and definitely more clients, and more responsibility. And with that, usually it's like in our reactions with other humans that, some of that deep inner stuff starts to show up, of like, okay, like, it's time for me to address this. I know for my journey, it's actually been like my relationship with my physical body, like you shared about your health journey. It's really been like my health journey is really what's woken me up and gotten me to like, whoa, like these are things that are coming up for me to heal and shift. And, I'll say like, come online and totally wake up. And so that's where I found like our biggest challenges are really, truly are our biggest gifts. When we choose to like see it that way, and honor that as part of our journey.
Yeah. And of course, when we're in it, it doesn't feel like a gift. So we don't have to lie. We can just say, I want to get rid of this. And then part of getting rid of it is to connect to whatever you need to connect to. Your inner wisdom will show you that.
Yeah.
And then as you move through it into triumph beyond it, then from that space, when you look back, then you'll be able to appreciate it.
Yeah.
I had a hellacious upbringing, a lot of violence, neglect, abuse, and so on. And through doing the healing work and working with clients, I truly, without a hint of hyperbole, can appreciate and be grateful for what I was allowed to come into, so that I could serve in the way that I do, and in the capacities that I do, and with the depth and breadth that I'm able to. So that really can't be forced, but it is a net effect of going through it to get through it, but not in a white knuckling kind of way.
Right.
That's one of the things about SMGI is it's the gentlest work that I know of, and it's the most efficient and effective that I know of. Now, there could be something else. And what's wonderful about the times of now is that there is a plethora available to everyone of mind-body tools, healing tools, and modalities. And it's a wonderful sign of the times. It's available. So everywhere you turn, there's some form of support available to you and for you. And we get our wounds in community and we heal them in community.
Mm.
When it comes to business, nothing comes to us that doesn't come from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Our community is critical to us. None of us is an island, even though some of us wanted to be for a while if we came from difficult circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all helping each other, all of us. And as far as I understand it, the consciousness that we're moving into is about community and greater collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that shows up offering their unique and particular gifts that we can all enjoy and benefit from.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So let us know, and we're going to have all of your information in the show notes. So tell us how we can connect with you, because I know we're looking at two ways. One's if someone wants to experience a session or a series of sessions with one of your practitioners, we can direct people that way. And then if they want to explore certification with you, there's another way. So talk us through that.
Yeah, you can find all that information on one website, Somatic Mindful Guided Imagery.com. And the practitioners that have gone through the training are listed there. All backgrounds, all price ranges. So I'm there, whatever resonates for you. And also information about the training is there.
Okay.
So yes, welcome, go there, peruse it. All the information that I put out in the world, it is with the partial intent that even if I never see or hear from the person that avails themselves of that information, or my practitioners, the ones that have gone through the training don't, that they still are blessed in some way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here. That's why I'm here, is so that others will be blessed through me doing my thing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for blessing us with your time today and your brilliance and insight, Gina. We appreciate it so much. And thank you to all of our listeners and viewers. We will have the link to Gina's website there, and you can go check her out. And thank you so much for tuning in. And again, thank you, Gina. This is Celia with More Influence and Impact, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.